Once again, it's me, KNG. Let's talk about this. So everybody's talking about Diddy. Diddy do it? Diddy done it? Diddy did. I have another take. My take might make some question reality. This is the thing, right? Most of what we are hearing, as far as the freak-offs, as far as the Diddy exposure, actually comes from the discovery or the lawsuit that that young woman had against Diddy, who settled out of court. So all of the information that people are regurgitating comes from that document, right? And they're just like, freak off. You know, Diddy had his freak offs. Okay. You know, Diddy had a prostitution ring. He was trafficking because they went across state lines and performed sexual acts with prostitutes in different states, as you know, her recollection of it in that document. So everything that the state has comes from that document. They wanted to get more information so that they could potentially put him away, because I believe her testimony is now that she's gotten paid off, she can't be sequestered or you know, be a prominent, you know, person in the lawsuit as far as a source. So I believe, because when you get paid off, I think it's a NDA or something like, you won't testify against me for any further actions, blah blah blah, XYZ. So I wanted to say that, right, as far as there is no new information with the Diddy case. Everything is now just mainstream, when everybody already knew. The video was out of the abuse in the hotel, and the lawsuit filed with all the information was already out. So everybody knew that, but no new information is being put out. Everybody's just regurgitating what they already know. And this is where we are now. So, why is this such a big deal? And I tell you that they are systematically running up the numbers as far as the eyes, as far as the notion of black men being sexual predators. This is not the first time that they have showcased black men as sexual predators, because they've showcased this in things like Birth of a Nation. So we've seen this countless times of the prominent society wanting to make sure they leave their racial integrity intact, right? So what are you saying? I'm saying that if they had an option, white women, they could choose more black men than they did white men, right? So it has always been an effort to ensure that white men were the right choice, the only choice, the logical choice, by systematically oppressing black men and systematically incarcerating black men, and this is to not only diminish and sustain a low body count as far as the population demographic of America, but also to ensure wealth distribution, right? So we all know that, right? We all know that. Now, let me tell you what I saw. And I seen it with my own eyes. These peepers. Jeepers creepers. Anyway, I watched Mr. McMahon. It was on Netflix. Watched it. What was it saying? It was saying that he's had a history of sexual predatory behavior within his company, whether it's homosexual, pedophilia, or females. They have been in the news, swept under the rug countless times, because it hasn't been a big enough business for the mainstream news, right? So, back in the 80s, that people didn't know about Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon. Back in the 90s, people knew the talent. They didn't know the owner. And then once he became a bigger star, once the WWF became recognized, once they merged with the WCW, once they went on the stock exchange, all of these things happened, but all the while, countless accusation after accusation, buyout after buyout. He has had his whole career fondling and groping women, right? Now, his lawsuits, now he has a trafficking lawsuit against him, right? But these are the similarities. These are the things that we see men with power do often. Now, if we say how much power in America do black men have versus white men, how long have black men been in power versus white men? And with power comes corruption. So how long has white men been corrupted? But the objection or the objective is to focus in on the minority, on the smallest percentage of millionaires, of business owners, entrepreneurs, the smallest percentage, right? Black people only making up 15% of the population. And then you talk about millionaires being a 1 percentile. Then of those millionaires, a lot of them came into millions through entertainment. So Diddy did have entertainment as well, but he also had other ventures. So I'm going to label him as an entrepreneur. And of those entrepreneurs, it's 0.0005%, right? So it's so small, so beyond the decimal that it's not even a witch hunt, it's a needle hunt, right? They are needle hunting for black men, if you get my meaning. They're looking at all of the other cases and whatever to that, like there are circuits of men, right? So take for instance, you still have men that have had millions for 60 plus years, right? Still alive. They're not going after them. They're not going after the men who were in the 80s, right? Because McMahon was in the 80s. They're not going after these men because these men had I would say fraternal order. I would say a boys club. You know what I mean? They had their way, right? Because they were the movers and shakers. They were the powerful men of the age. But because of that, countless atrocities, victims over the years never came forth and may never, right? So, but if they did come forward, if they did have accusations, is the media going to be hypersensitive, hypervigilant over their accusations, their lawsuits, their cases? Or is it going to be swept under the rug because it's not sensationalized, because it's not a prominent figure? You know what I mean? So, you have the Millionaire Boys Club, Billionaire Boys Club, and you know the yacht parties get crazy. They go out to international waters, and you know they're doing all type of, I mean, the thought in any American's mind when you say, what do you think happens in international waters? They're going to say everything happens in international waters. People don't come back from international waters, right? So the people that can do it have done it, and it's never been an issue. So what I'm saying is that people have disappeared, right? No cases filed. You know, women have trucked onto the ship for treasure, and they might have had to do the most degrading things of their entire life, so much so that they might not be here anymore by their own volition, you know? But there is no recourse for those men, right? It seems like they're above the law, or the law is not implicating them in what seems to be a history of it, right? But on our hands, new money got to take the rap, you know, and it's just like, even the trust fund babies are doing way more than anybody knows, right? Obviously they have structures right now, right? When I mean structures, I mean brick and mortar, I mean underground, speakeasy type of situations, right? They have structures in which they go for their bizarre behavior, right? They bury it so far in the dark when will it come to light? But I digress. I want to let you know that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? Are black men the face of sexual predators in America, i.e. the world? Because America's biggest export is its media and entertainment. So are black men pushed to the rest of the world as sexual predators and deviants? Let me know. Signing off. Peace out.